The Philippines is being called Asia's rising tiger. But what exactly does this mean? Posting a GDP growth of 6.7% in 2017, the country has one of the fastest growing economies in the world, expanding at a rate unseen in the last 5 decades. The good news is, it's just getting started. The better news is that we have designed a brand new city to be the nucleus of this economic renaissance. Less than 1 hour from the capital, Manila, straddled by hills and blessed with tropical climate all year long. We are building the city of the future, a landmark development twice the size of Manhattan. Originally developed by the Americans for its secure and strategic location in Asia Pacific, Clark is being transformed into a disaster-resilient metropolis that will be competitive and attractive to a global market. It will consist of 4 main districts. The Clark Freeport Zone, an existing mixed-use complex established in the 90s. Clark Global City, which will serve as the primary business district. And New Clark City, which will house satellite government offices and a first-class sports village. Central to all of this is Clark International Airport, which will soon be expanded to accommodate up to 80 million passengers a year. This ensures that travel will be comfortable while trade is seamless. A city unmatched in connectivity, with access to world-class highways and the service of high-speed railways, connecting north to south and east to west, across surrounding seas and over oceans. Clark is a city built as living proof that business in this part of the world is not only easy, but simply better. With no red tape, lower taxes, and endless investment opportunities. This is a city prepared to attract talent so that the country's best and brightest will come here to work and choose to call this place home. Because this is a city that knows how to play, where you can unwind at your own speed, where safety is paramount, and people always come first. This is a city where history and culture thrive, where modern conveniences meet timeless traditions, and progress is driven by passion. This is a city with limitless ambition that may someday find itself among the great cities of the world, built for business so that time is always well spent, and built for people so that life is always well lived. This is Clark.
All right. Good day, everyone, and welcome to HR on the Go, where top trends and hot topics in HR and people management are coming your way. So buckle up and prepare for takeoff. HR on the Go is a joint collaboration of Clark HR Council and International HR Institute, airing live on the CHRC Facebook page every month. If you are interested in becoming a CHRC member, join us via www.clarkhrcouncil.org/join. Ayan, in today's episode, I am joined by an experienced professional teacher and a corporate trainer to talk about teaching versus training, how corporate training differ from academic learning. Ayan, no? Who's better pa, no? Who's the most perfect person to talk about this topic? None other than a person who has experienced both. So the terms teaching, no, and training are frequently used interchangeably, but there are a lot of significant differences. Both are useful when done correctly, but understanding their roles in development requires an understanding of their differences. Education gives you the ability to fully comprehend and do something. It teaches you how to empathize with others. On the other hand, training, on the other hand, is the about ability and the performance. It's all about the mechanics, no? These two are intended to not compete or replace one another. They are in fact designed to work together. When a person is both trained and educated, they become a more valuable employee. One who can not only do their job, but someone who can innovate, solve problems, and of course, advance on their own. And now, to help us understand how corporate training differs from academic learning and how these two can be useful to you, let me introduce to you our speaker for today. Our guest for today works as a partner in the talent development team of Circologica Group. He specializes in communication and personality development for training. He is also the program manager for the Certified Learning and Development Professional, or CLDP. It's a certification focusing on developing the skills and knowledge of L&D professionals. And he actually also hosts a webcast like this. Now, he is the host for Trainers Lounge, a show that talks about anything and everything about L&D. And apart from these, now, as I said a while ago, he is also a licensed professional teacher and a language educator with almost 6 years of experience dealing with students of different age groups. Now, so to sum it up, he is not only a corporate trainer, but as well as an academic teacher as well. So isn't he the best and perfect speaker, no, for today? So it is now my honor to introduce to you our guest for today, Mr. Kevin Maglaqui. Hi, Sir Kevin.
Hello, hello, and thank you for having me on the show. Nahiya naman ako bigla dun sa perfect guest for this topic. But yeah,
Ayan,
I'll try to say I'll try to share as much as I can naman.
Ayan, I hope I didn't pressure you too much, no? Being the
Na-pressure ako bigla. Ganun pala yung
perfect
introduction.
guest. Ayan, alam mo ba, Sir Kevin, I'm actually very, very interested with our topic today because you know what? When I graduated college, I initially wanted to be a professional teacher. I wanted to teach
Mhm.
college students. But unfortunately, for some reason, I wasn't getting any callbacks, no? As in, ang dami kong inapplyan. Pero lahat ng HR roles, lahat ng training roles, natawag ako. Actually, I only applied for one training role and I already got the job, no? But yung mga schools talaga, for some reason, sabi ko baka hindi talaga ako for corporate and or for academic teaching,
Uh-huh,
no? So
uh-huh.
ayan, Sir Kevin, let's talk about our topic for today, no? So to start off, ano nga ba? What is corporate training and what is academic learning?
Okay, well, the two are usually overlapping each other, or if we talk about it in general terms, parang magkamukha lang naman sila, parang wala naman
Mhm.
difference. However,
Mhm.
when we look into the strategies employed by two disciplines or by these two disciplines, no, you can actually see some fine differences. Again, let me reiterate, these two definitely overlaps each other. Both of them involve learning. Both
Mhm.
of them involve a teacher or an instructor and
Mhm.
learners. Yeah, so they are similar. But yeah, let's go into each of them. When we say corporate training kasi, this is talking about the capacity of an organization, a company, no, to apply and share knowledge to their workforce. The purpose of this is for exploring new solutions, increasing efficiency, and of course, developing their competitiveness in the market. Of course, a company, wala namang company, no? I think that wants to stay the same all through their existence. That's
Correct,
why
correct.
training, 'di ba? That's why corporate learning, or the usual term din na ginagamit is learning and development, because
Mhm.
companies or organizations, of course, needs to have their employees develop over time, through
Mhm.
learning or through training, and
Mhm.
in return help the company develop and achieve a much more higher level of, not just efficiency, but growth talaga. Or when we say growth, is yung better work processes, better work quality or product quality if it's a production company, things like that. Now, learning is being used, no, in corporate training or corporate learning, but it actually embraces a much wider notion. Parang mas malawak yung sakop niya. It pertains to a company-wide learning culture kasi. When we say culture, it's not the same with everyone. Company A might have a different learning culture with company B, but what is evident is the organization and its employees constantly learn and adapt. Ayan. So we can actually say as well that the learning process and the result, let's say, or the desired goal is on a much more faster
Mhm.
pace. Right? Mas
Mhm.
mabilis dapat nakikita, ika nga.
Mhm.
And now, going into academic learning, no, uh, it's still the acquisition of skills, no? It's still the development of skills, but this time it is gathered through the use of general curriculums in schools, ayan, regarding different courses or subjects. Ayan.
Mhm. Mhm. Kumbaga
I think
standard sa ano?
there's a standard. There is a plethora of courses. Dati subjects ang tawag natin, but now courses
Mm.
na. It is a
Mhm.
more
Mhm.
formal, ayun. It is a more formal approach, let's say, that often requires a longer time for the learning goals to be evident. Ayan. But you might be asking, but I'm still learning naman eh. If
Mhm.
sa corporate
Mhm.
training, I'm still learning. In academic learning, I'm still learning. So what's the difference? Basically, one, or well, I don't want to go into the difference too much, but yeah, one is the setups. But I guess if we are to define both of them, they are learning, but they
Mhm.
happen in different scenarios or settings. Ayan.
Mhm. All right. So with that said, no, Sir Kevin, I'm just curious, no. I realize I didn't ask this back prior, no. I'm just curious, ano bang nauna sa'yo? Did you practice
Ah,
teaching muna sa school or corporate ka na kagad?
IT. Joke lang.
Ang
I
layo
started off
pala.
kasi ano eh, ang weird din ng ano ko eh, ang weird ng development ko. Yes, but yeah, kidding aside, yes, I did start as an IT learner. Yun
Mhm.
naman talaga yung una kong course. But
Mhm.
coming from a family of teachers, and si
Mhm.
grandmother ko was a superintendent in Porac,
Mhm. Mhm.
Pampanga.
Mhm.
My mother, may her soul rest in peace, was a teacher. And then it kind of came naturally kasi like I was doing IT, but then again there was this culture na kinalakihan ko.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
moment I was born, ayan, buhay teacher ang nakikita ko sa grandparent
Mhm.
ko or sa grandmother ko and sa mother ko. Then when
Mhm.
I finally decided na maybe IT is not for me, I
Mhm.
decided na mag-transfer na or mag-shift na into
Mhm.
education. I
Mhm.
got my degree, BS Ed major in English in Mabalacad City College. Actually, they're
Mhm.
also a member of
Mhm.
CHRC.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
shout out to my alma mater. And then happy accident ang nangyari. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
It's serendipity ba? Sweet serendipity ka nga. Naging corporate learner ako kasi, well,
Mhm.
we all know COVID. COVID
Mhm.
happened in
Mhm.
2019. I was already teaching in
Mhm.
an international school in Clark.
Mhm. Mhm.
But unfortunately, the pandemic happened and I transitioned
Mhm.
to corporate learning. And I've been doing
Mhm.
it since then and happily doing it. Ika nga.
How was the transition for you? Was it difficult? Was it easy because you're a teacher na before? How was it?
It's different, I'd say, definitely.
Mhm.
But it helped na teacher ako. Let's put it that way. It
Mhm.
helped na
Mhm.
yung
Mhm.
education ko is coming from an academic background. Because
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
I started developing curriculums or training plans, I
Mhm.
kind of adapted the skills that I was doing in
Mhm.
creating lesson plans
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
for academics. The skills as well in presenting the lessons, although adjusted a bit because the learners are
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
We will talk
Mhm.
later on.
Mhm.
And in a way as well, medyo takot. Definitely. Na, there was
Mhm.
fear, no? Kasi you are now dealing with professionals with their own set of
Mhm.
specializations, with their own special set of skills na
Mhm.
I might or might not have a
Mhm.
good grasp of. No? Baka they have
Mhm.
skills that I don't even know.
Correct.
So,
Mhm.
nandun yung fear na, why am I training them? Parang ganun na,
Mhm.
baka
Mhm.
lumitaw yung
Mhm.
question. Wala naman siyang alam sa ganito, ganyan, ganyan. But
Correct.
we'll
Correct.
talk about that later on.
Mhm, mhm. All right. Now that you've may pahapyaw ka na sa content differences because
Mhm.
you were mentioning terms. Say for example in teaching you were mentioning lesson plan, and then for L&D you were using training plan, diba? So now
Mhm.
siguro we can delve into these differences as you mentioned a while ago. Say for example in the audience, no, there were differences. Can we talk about more about the differences of the two?
Sure, sure. Well, first off, siguro, corporate training, in a nutshell, is practical knowledge. Ayan.
Mhm,
With an emphasis on hands-on experience. When we
mhm.
say practical knowledge kasi, these are knowledge that are practical in their job description or what they do
Correct.
in their
Mhm,
organization. Of course,
mhm,
if you are, let's say, no, a manager, then you have to
mhm,
learn skills pertaining to people management,
mhm,
to conflict resolutions, things like that, because those are the
mhm,
skills that are practical to you.
mhm,
At the
mhm,
same time, a person who, let's say, works in a bakery, let's say the
mhm,
company is a bakery or food products, a
mhm.
person working there must have the practical knowledge of making sure that the bread is good, no? How to create the bread, ika nga, uh, maintaining a good quality all throughout the batches, things like that.
Mhm,
So
mhm, mhm,
hands-on siya. The things that they learn in corporate training are hands-on, if not hands-on, practical in what they
mhm.
do. Now,
Correct. Mhm,
you should gain immediate value out of corporate coursework. Parang yung
mhm,
mga ginagawa mo dito, immediate sana. Yun yung
mhm,
ano, if we live in a perfect world, the goal
mhm.
of a corporate learning session has to have has to have an immediate
Effect,
value. Oo,
value.
parang
Mhm, correct.
kasi pumapasok diyan yung investment.
Mhm, mhm,
The organization or the company actually funds,
mhm,
plans, no, creates this
mhm,
training, uh, of course, expecting something in return. Mahirap
mhm,
naman
mhm.
kasi na nagpapatraining ka, if you're a company, mahirap naman kasi na nagpapatraining ka, tapos walang mangyayari doon sa mga pinatrain mo. So it's
Correct.
a waste of investment, or
Resources.
parang
Mhm,
hindi maganda
mhm,
yung in corporate we call it ROI. I think you're familiar naman
mhm,
dyan, no?
mhm,
Return of investment. So if you put
mhm,
something, you have to gain something as well.
mhm,
Now, in academics naman, iba ang expectations natin.
mhm,
Academics focuses more on general knowledge that
mhm,
does not require immediate application.
mhm,
Yan.
mhm,
However, no, so ibig sabihin ba wala tayong ine-expect na result from them? Wala ba tayong
mhm,
ine-expect na development sa mga students natin sa
mhm,
academics?
mhm,
Not necessarily, but this is the analogy that I always say to my fellow teachers back then, na kapag
mhm,
nahihirapan sila magturo or they are having issues with their subjects. Like, I remember this story. Sabi, why are we why are we learning about well, no offense sa mga math teachers, why are we learning about the formulas of trigonometry wherein in real life hindi naman natin sila gagamitin? Yan. I've also had that question when I was a student. Admittedly, no, mathematics is not my forte kasi I'm more on the creative side of things. I'm
mhm,
more on the
mhm.
language side of things. But yeah, I appreciate mathematics. It's just that my brain can't process mathematics. I had that question before. Bakit ko ba pinag-aaralan 'tong formula na 'to, hindi ko naman gagamitin sa career na
Correct,
gusto ko.
correct. I think every student had that in their minds, no,
Mhm.
growing up and going to school. Mhm.
But I think the answer to that shows the the essence of what academic learning is. So yung sagot ko
Mhm.
doon lagi is, yes, you don't have, or you're not going to use the c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared, yung mga formulas na yan. But no, but what you are actually developing from those lessons is to be able to think, uh, and to be able to decipher problems. Critical
Mhm.
thinking ang
Correct.
nakukuha mo
Critical
doon.
thinking. Correct, correct. Mhm.
So in a way, no, when we say academic learning, you get to check out these theories,
Mhm.
these lessons,
Mhm.
these disciplines from a wide plethora of subjects and courses, and
Mhm.
consciously or unconsciously, you get to
Mhm.
develop the skills na
Mhm.
kailangan mo when you go or when you reach adulthood. So yeah,
Mhm.
hindi naman immediate yung learning na gusto nating makita, but in academics, what we try to impart to the students is the
Mhm.
real life application naman.
Correct,
No?
correct. Mhm.
So, sabi ko nga sa kanila noon, sa mga students ko when I was still teaching in academics, yes, you don't have to memorize this until you become old or become adults. Yes, you don't have to remember the people who wrote these beautiful novels, but
Mhm.
the life lessons behind them, the real life application that you can get from them is what matters to me. Kaya
Mhm.
nga sa
Correct, correct.
academics, which is often not found, no, in corporate learning,
Mhm.
in academics, after each lesson, what we want to do is have this, parang ang tawag namin doon ano, values part ng lesson,
Mhm.
or
Reflection paper ba
mathematics.
yung tawag diyan?
Hindi, pwede nga reflection paper, but gasgas na. But rather, what I usually do with the students back then is, after the lesson, I try to ask them, oh, how do you think this can help you in real life?
Mhm,
That's the
mhm.
question naman eh. Like, oh,
Mhm.
we studied cultures, literatures from different cultures. What can we get
Mhm.
from this lesson? And so if they say,
Mhm.
we get to understand the culture of other people
Mhm.
and have a wider understanding of how the world works. Yan. So
Mhm.
hindi na importante sa akin if they learned kailan na-publish yun, kung sino nagsulat.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm, mhm.
factor yun. But the important
Mhm.
thing is they were able to see na, okay, culture is different in other places. And by
Mhm.
them being exposed to that, mas
Mhm.
nagiging maganda yung skill sets nila. Ayun.
Mhm, mhm. I think with that said, Sir Kevin, ako what I picked up from what you mentioned earlier, I think the
Mhm.
most important thing talaga that I got is that both of these are very important and both of these are going to be
Mhm.
useful for you in work, no, or in your everyday lives, no. But I think before we dwell into the similarities naman, no, I just want to know what are the challenges for both? Ano yung pinaka challenges ng corporate training and academic learning? I know there's a lot, no. I know there's a
Ayan.
lot, but ano ba, what are the most pressing challenges on top of your head right now?
Pressing challenges. Well, I don't want to get too political, no?
Mm.
but but the challenge right now definitely is the setups or
Mhm.
where learning is happening. Ayan.
Mhm, mhm.
I cannot deny it naman. There are challenges when it comes to the location, well, the setting itself, the classroom itself.
Mhm,
No?
mhm.
For corporate, it can be a bit easier for them to deal with, but it is also a problem, especially for small to medium enterprises, sa mga
Correct, correct.
startups, no?
Mhm.
Uh, mahirap mag-provide ng for corporate
Gadgets for
training,
all.
uh,
Mhm.
not necessarily the gadgets but the location itself.
Mhm, mhm.
Kasi as a learning, you need to have a location that is conducive for learning, both
Yes,
for
correct.
corporate and for academic learning.
Mhm, mhm.
So in the Philippines, sa public, alam naman natin na not all public schools have good learning locations. Ayan.
Mhm, mhm.
And with corporate naman, the challenges is providing one for the
Mhm.
learners.
Mhm.
Mas marami lang option si corporate kasi they can
Mhm.
rent out. locations.
Mhm.
Hindi
Mhm.
hindi naman kasi kailangan matagalan or stretch out for a
Mhm.
long
Mhm. Mhm.
period of days or months ang learning
Mhm.
nila. So they can rent out
Mhm.
or temporarily rent out a location. They can also uh, provide one in their own company if
Mhm.
their location is better, di ba? But yeah, definitely challenges for both. One is the
Mhm.
learning setup or the learning location. Number two,
Got that. Got that. Mhm.
uh, capacity of the establishment to provide materials. Doon
Mhm.
pumasok yung
Mhm.
sinabi mo kanina, the gadgets or things
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Again, it is a problem both in corporate and in the academic sector.
Mhm.
Kasi sa teaching, I did experience or I did see yung, again, I don't want to get political, pero yung kakulangan, ika nga, ng
Mhm.
materials.
Mhm. Mhm.
Books, the presentation materials, audio, visual
Correct.
materials,
Mhm.
especially now that we are in the digital age. And the students we have right now are what we call digital natives.
Mhm.
Hindi na
Mhm.
masyadong magwo-work sa kanila yung Manila paper. Hindi na
Correct.
magwo-work sa kanila yung flip cards.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
need to have better support or learning scaffoldings to appreciate or to digest the lessons. For corporate
Mhm.
naman, ayan, since it's a practical
Mhm.
knowledge ang kailangan, some lessons might require more difficult
Mhm.
materials. For
Correct.
example, yung
Mhm.
kanina, like for production, how can you train someone to do or produce something if wala ka ng materials to for them to try it out, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Mahirap naman na puro theoretical, puro lessons, puro visual
Mhm.
aids lang ang binibigay mo
Mhm.
for a corporate learner or for a training.
Correct.
And then at the end of the day, you expect them to do it hands-on na.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Something like that, 'di ba?
Mhm. Mhm.
Balikan natin yung sa bakery. How can
Mhm.
a person learn to do or to create bread if you don't give them the proper tools?
Actual.
Uh,
Correct.
di ba? Next is how can you expect a person to uh, repair something if
Mhm.
you don't give them a model at least of
Mhm.
what they
Mhm.
are expected to do. So the materials
Mhm.
as well is a problem or the capability of whoever is providing the learning
Mhm.
to produce those materials is also a challenge, you know.
Mhm. And then, Sir Kevin, I just want to circle back to what you mentioned a while
Mhm.
ago. Na parang, when you were transitioning to corporate training, there was fear of, teaching professionals. And then I remembered in my introduction a while ago, you had an extensive experience teaching different age groups, no? And then suddenly
Mhm.
you're teaching professionals. So how was that for you?
Of course, no, the integrity part is there.
Mm-hmm.
Na
Mm-hmm.
when I say integrity is like your integrity as a teacher that you're capable of doing this or teaching
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
needs to be there.
Mm-hmm.
May quote ang lola ko lagi sa akin nung naging teacher
Mm-hmm.
ako. Huwag kang papahuli ng buhay. Meaning, if you made a mistake or if you know that you slipped up, you don't don't let your students know that. They
Correct.
know. They know sometimes, no, na ay ay kapapangan, sorry. Ay nagkamali si sir. Ay nagkamali siya. Ay mali ata yung sinabi niya. Ay mali ata yung ginawa
Uh-huh.
niya. But
Uh-huh.
don't let that pull you back. Don't let that affect you greatly. You can admit it
Mm-hmm.
naman. Ako, like, I love
Mm-hmm.
students who can correct me. I love those.
Mm-hmm.
Admit defeat, but never let your integrity falter naman. Ayan.
Correct.
So when I
Mm-hmm.
was teaching professionals na, I let them know that, of course, I don't know exactly what your job is as a whole. I'm not an expert in your
Mm-hmm.
industry,
Mm-hmm.
parang
Mm-hmm.
ganun.
Correct.
But at this moment,
You're the
for ano pala,
subject matter expert.
for background pala,
Mhm,
I teach personality development and communication skills. So
mhm,
yes, I would say that yes, I know that. Well, not say, but rather affirm to myself na yes, I know that you're better at your job. I know that you have experience at your job.
mhm, mhm,
But
mhm,
on this time, in this current time, where I have or where I am going to impart skills in terms of
mhm,
communication and personality development, yan, no? I can provide you with tools, with
mhm,
skills that can help you further develop your skill set. Ayun. So, ganun lang
mhm,
naman eh.
mhm,
I guess, no, you don't have to be too afraid naman when conducting training. Hindi naman porket ikaw ang trainer means nakakaangat ka na sa kanila. Not
Correct.
actually the point. There are times
Mhm.
na mas magaling pa talaga ang
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
in terms of skill set, mas maraming alam ang
Mhm.
learners. But in that specific time, in that specific lesson or learning program,
Mhm. Mhm.
ikaw yung subject matter expert, parang ganun.
Correct, correct, correct. I think that's such a great value no, to our learners today. So to our viewers today, always remember, wag tayo magpapahuli ng buhay. No, to
Buhay.
our L&D L&D professionals out there, no, I think that's very, very important lesson. Now that we've talked about a lot of the differences, no, Sir Kevin, I know that there are a lot of similarities. Now let's dwell into that naman.
Similarities, ayan. So, as I said sa intro, di ba, these two overlap each other talaga.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
if we want to look into it, siguro ang masasabi ko, maraming similarities, but what I want to emphasize is first is the setups. When I
mhm,
say setups, nandiyan yung learner, both of them has a learner and
mhm,
both of them has what do you call this? Uh, a trainer or a teacher, parang ganon.
mhm,
However, with the development of several technological advancements, ayan,
mhm,
nagkakaroon na rin ng
mhm,
shift in the way we set up learning.
mhm,
Sa academics, still, they are using the traditional classroom base, but in corporate training, there have been developments in terms of lesson delivery. Nagkakaroon na tayo ng
mhm,
tinatawag
mhm,
nating e-learning because of the pandemic. Actually,
mhm,
nandyan na
mhm,
siya. Nandyan na ang
mhm,
e-learning before pandemic happened. But when it did struck us, naging mas malaki yung ano, parang mas malaki yung demand for e-learning to happen.
mhm,
So
mhm,
the teacher and the learner can now do a learning session without being in the same room. In fact,
mhm,
pwede nang matuto ang isang learner kahit na walang physical or walang virtual na teacher. They can actually
mhm,
learn from self-paced learning materials such as videos, presentation slides, case studies, things like that. Na kahit walang teacher present, whether face-to-face or online, kaya nang matuto ng learner. So yan, I
mhm,
guess
mhm,
there are similarities in the setups, but
mhm,
corporate training has been exploring more ways to do it. Sa
mhm,
academic, yes, they did online learning during the pandemic. Ayan, and they did distance learning
mhm,
also, as
mhm,
we call
mhm,
it. But yeah, setups are familiar, are similar. It's just that corporate training has more avenues to do it.
mhm, mhm.
Ayan.
With that said, Sir Kevin, no, we've talked about the differences, the similarities, no. Why is it important for for a corporate trainer coming from an academic institution? Why is it important to differentiate the methods and strategies in doing the two approaches?
Ayan. Kasi if you are approaching training or corporate training at academic mindset, mahihirapan ka to achieve, I don't want to say, parang, di naman shortcut, but rather, you're trying to get to the skills already. You're developing the skills
Mhm,
already.
mhm, correct, correct.
So
Mhm,
if you're utilizing strategies on academic learning,
mhm,
mahihirapan ka to achieve siguro agad
mhm,
yung need mong what do you call this? Yung need mong skills na makita sa mga learners mo. And then
mhm,
siguro similarities din pumapasok diyan yung learning theories. A lot of
mhm,
learning
mhm,
theories are involved in academic learning kasi iba-iba yung grade
mhm,
levels nila, and at the same time these people are going, or these learners are going through different phases of their development life. Elementary
mhm,
students will need a different approach, no? Preschool
mhm,
students definitely have a different approach needed for them. Secondary,
mhm,
and then what do you call this? Tertiary, what senior high na meron din kaya ngayon, and
mhm,
these different stages have different styles of learning. That's why learning theories, or parang yung mga ginagamit ng mga teachers to identify or to create a lesson delivery that fits yung capacity ng student nila ay
mhm,
pumapasok
mhm,
na.
mhm,
However, in corporate
mhm,
training,
correct. Mhm.
pumapasok dyan is mainly the adult learning theory.
Adult learning theory, yeah. Mhm.
Yan. Kasi nung teacher ako, I had to make sure na iba yung approach ko sa mga grade 7 students ko sa mga grade 12
Mhm.
students ko. Because
Mhm.
they are still in their developmental stages. But when I was in
Mhm.
corporate training, I can utilize a lot of things mostly from adult learning theories. Ayan,
Mhm, mhm.
things like
Like
that.
yung kailangan, kung visual ba sila, mga gano'n ano
Oh
kapagka
yes, definitely.
adult
Pasok
learning
na
theory
dyan
like
yan.
anong kind ng learning ano nila ng got that. So that's
Mhm.
understood.
Kasi
Ayan, so to our please
hindi,
continue,
I mean,
Kevin.
gusto ko lang add kasi the learners, yes, they have different levels of understanding, but the theories involving them can still be applied interchangeably.
Mhm, mhm,
I love that you said that
mhm,
there are different types of learners. Yes, that's definitely correct.
mhm,
That is evident pa naman, even if you're a child and
mhm.
even if you're an adult.
Correct.
Ayan.
Mhm.
But there are learning theories that can only be applied for, let's say,
For
toddlers or
mhm,
prepubescents. Ayan. So, learning
mhm,
theories, you have to, well, if you are a teacher, bugbog ka na dyan, sigurado. Yung mga psychologists natin, sina Gardner,
mhm,
sina Sigmund Freud, things like that, the scaffolding learning
mhm,
theories, ayan, mga like that. Bugbog
mhm,
ka na dyan,
mhm,
sigurado. So, if you're going to transition into corporate training, may baon ka na. Ay, pwede kong
mhm,
gamitin
mhm,
'tong theory na 'to, adult learning. Yung mga
mhm, mhm,
learners ko more on video, visuals. So, alam mo na kung anong
mhm,
materials
mhm.
gagamitin mo. Ayan.
Mhm, mhm. Understood, understood. So, to our viewers right now, no, if you are in the academic institution and you're planning to be a corporate trainer, I think sabi nga ni Sir Kevin, marami ka ng baon. So, with that said, Sir
Mhm.
Kevin, if you are an academic teacher and you are a corporate trainer, what's in it for you? Ano ang benefits kapag teacher ka? Ano ang benefits kung trainer ka? Para sa mga nanonood natin ngayon.
Yun. Ako siguro for corporate trainers, the benefits that you get is, of course, being what I love currently at my job is being exposed to different industries in different
Mhm,
fields of expertise. Ayan.
mhm,
Siguro swerte na lang that my subject matter is communications, which is applied,
mhm.
no? In any industry naman.
Kahit
Whatever
ano,
industry
correct.
that is, there is definitely a need for communications
For
development
that.
and
Mhm, mhm.
personality development. So ako, when
Correct.
I became a corporate trainer, I was so happy to be able to talk to people in different industries, from manufacturing, from marketing, from sales,
Mhm,
even
mhm,
from managerial positions like managers, supervisors, and even decision makers. I get to mingle with them and learn a bit or a thing or two about their industry and about what they do, and it helps me prepare better for the trainings that I need to do. For example, well, for our company din kasi, I am a subject matter expert or a global training partner. And sometimes
mhm,
we do have
mhm,
clients from different industries. So,
mhm,
dati, akala ko, one communication lesson is enough to be
mhm,
applied for different companies. But when I started developing my skills now for corporate training, I tended to adjust, ayan, my
mhm,
lessons or
mhm,
my training plans na
mhm,
I had this industry na naging client, engineering or
mhm,
manufacturing sila. So I was teaching or I was training mainly engineers. So medyo
mhm,
nahihiya sila magsalita kasi it's not really a part of
mhm.
their job to speak. So yan.
Correct.
And then
Mhm,
I
mhm,
was able to conduct a training a hospitality for the hospitality industry. Na ngayon
mhm,
nag-iba yung shift. They are more
mhm.
confident in
Correct,
speaking.
correct.
So I had to
Mhm,
adjust na, okay, what can I add to them? What can I share with them pa? Ayan.
mhm,
So yeah,
mhm.
I
I
guess
think
at the end,
mhm.
sorry.
I think at the end of the day, no, we will just go back to what you mentioned nga kanina earlier in the conversation. You mentioned about the culture in every company. No, parang
Mhm.
when you do a specific training, it's gonna be different for every company. And like when you are an academic teacher, no, what you teach on a different section is gonna be the same dun sa next section na
Mhm.
ituturo mo, no, mga ganon.
Well, it's not let's not put it in a bad light naman kasi. It's
Mhm, correct.
basically
Mhm.
may curriculum ka kasi. Ayan.
Mhm,
The
correct,
Department
correct.
of
Mhm.
Education has provided us with the curriculum
Mhm,
which
mhm.
is already designed na, no?
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
to have this uh targeted goals.
mm-hmm,
But what I'm saying is, from corporate training, you get to have more freedom with your trainings.
mm-hmm,
You get
mm-hmm,
to have more
mm-hmm,
freedom with what you teach.
mm-hmm,
Ayan.
mm-hmm.
Oh, well,
I think
benefits
kaya
naman pala.
mhm,
Ay, sorry.
mhm. I think kaya
Continue.
siguro hindi ako natanggap. Kaya hindi siguro ako natanggap sa mga ano, sa mga schools. Kaya hindi siguro ako natanggap kasi kailangan ko ng freedom.
Hindi
Ayun.
naman sa wala kang freedom, but rather, yun nga, there is a certain guideline. Ako sometimes, I also go off the curriculum. Like,
Mhm, mhm,
parang yung
mhm.
students ko kailangan ng ganito.
Ganito,
Yung mga students
mhm.
ko, hindi pa na-develop itong skill sets na to, na kailangan
Mhm,
nila
mhm,
for the
mhm,
next lesson. So, I add naman, parang ganon.
mhm, mhm. At the end
Now,
of the day, it's still,
mhm,
of course, catering to your audience.
oo. Mas ano lang, mas may
Mhm.
freedom ka nga sa corporate. Let's put it that way.
Alright.
Now, going
Mhm,
into
mhm.
academics naman, the benefits, no? One of the benefits
Cake?
definitely is cake. Ayan, pag Teachers Day, may cake. That's all. Kidding aside, uh, kunwari may magsusuntukan sa classroom, tapos may cake ka pala. Ayan. But yeah, besides that, no, I think the benefits for a teacher is fulfilling a very, very noble, ang dramatic pakinggan, no? Pero it's fulfilling a very noble cause. Uh, sa teaching kasi, mali pa, baliktad pa. Sa teaching, many are called, but few are chosen. Yeah. Paki-decipher na lang. But rather,
Mm,
ang gusto ko
mhm,
sabihin
mhm,
doon is, if you are really passionate in teaching, ang saya makita na to be a part of a child's development, and
mhm,
knowing that you were a factor in that development, knowing
mhm,
that
mhm,
you see someone na, even if it's in the smallest even if it's in the smallest ways, na he was able to learn this and then was able to apply it in his life. The benefits of being a teacher siguro is having that fulfilling passion talaga, if you're into it na yan. Kaya nga sabi, many are called, few are chosen. But another, in the practical sense naman, no, uh, you get to develop your uh, knowledge throughout the years. Kasi ang English teacher 20 years ago is not the same now. No?
mhm, mhm,
The forefront pa, ika nga, of developments in the learning styles na sometimes you get to have a wider audience as well. What's the right term? Ayoko naman sabihin medyo narcissistic, but rather nagiging center ka ng nagiging source ka ng knowledge for your students. And it's basically a fulfillment of service. Ayan, let's put it
mhm,
that way.
mhm, mhm. I think with how you explained it, talagang naintindihan ko kung bakit sinasabi nila 'to. Talagang teaching 'no, is a vocation. It's not a job anymore. It's a vocation. It's something that you really have to commit yourself into. So I think that's how I got the grasp of it, you know. So thank you so much for that, Sir Kevin. And now for my last question, Sir Kevin, to
Mhm.
our viewers right now, I know that a lot of them are probably L&D professionals or teachers or probably students, no? So to those who are interested to become a teacher and trainer, what would be your advice to them? And ano ba yung mga competencies and skills na kailangan to be a teacher and to be a trainer?
Ayan. Uh, Number one, for me, no, although mahirap i-measure. Number one for me, that a trainer or a teacher should have is passion. You should
Mhm,
be
mhm,
passionate in what you're doing. At the end
mhm,
of the day, no one's gonna help you with what you're doing kasi
mhm,
there are supports, no? But at the end of
mhm.
the day, it's you. When you start teaching, it's you.
Correct, correct.
And if the drive is not there, if passion is not there, if you're merely doing it for the sake of doing it, hindi ka tatagal. Especially if teacher ka.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
uh, Corporate training, yeah, we can say na isang training session lang naman. Isang training session lang naman. But still, that within that single training session, you have to have that passion na you really want your learners to achieve yung skill sets na kailangan nila malaman or matutunan. And for a
mhm,
teacher, mas kailangan ng passion. Because you're not
Mhm.
just teaching them, you're nurturing them. Holistic kasi
Mhm.
ang approach sa teaching eh.
Mhm. Correct.
Uh, Hindi lang yung lesson ang kailangan mong ituro. Hindi lang dapat addition, hindi lang dapat process of
Mhm.
elimination, mga skill
Mhm.
sets or kung ano mang lesson yan. Hindi lang dapat yun yung na-incorporate natin sa mga bata, but also the real life appreciation of the lesson. And at the same time, inaalagaan mo din sila. Ayan. But when we say care, it's the word itself talaga. Care talaga. You have to care for them. Hindi pwedeng, binigay ko na yung lesson ko, I taught my lesson, I delivered it, I gave my activities to them. It's done. No.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
have to be sincerely passionate about your job and about with your students. You have to care for them. And yun nga, once you become a teacher, magkakaroon ka ng hundreds, if not thousands of anak
Mhm. Mhm.
in the line of your in the duration of your work. Ayan.
Mhm.
Second, also no patience naman.
Correct.
Trainer and a teacher must be patient. Ako kasi siguro ang dati definitely naiinis ako. But at the end of the day na-realize ko na lang din that not all learners are the same, whether they're adults or children. Not
Mhm.
all came from the same background,
Mhm.
meaning kasi minsan nambabash tayo, ang tanda-tanda mo na hindi mo pa alam 'to. But we
Mhm.
don't know
Mhm.
kasi baka hindi naman niya or he wasn't able to grasp or have an opportunity to learn that during his
Mhm.
childhood, di
Mhm.
ba? For kids naman, anong taon ka na, ba't di ka pa marunong magbasa? Maybe he wasn't or she wasn't exposed to it, to the practice of reading at home or outside
Mhm.
of school, di
Mhm.
ba? So again, be patient. Kasi if you're patient, you start to see things na can explain what is happening with your learners. Ayan.
Mhm.
Another would be is well related dun sa sinabi ko a much more wider view about
Mhm.
life. Ayan. Kasi if
Mhm.
you understand that people walk in different paths, people don't have the same experiences, you get to be
Mhm.
more understanding. And
Mhm.
at the same
Mhm.
time, mas ano siya, mas nakakatulong sa pag-alleviate ng stress.
Mhm.
Bakit
Mhm.
yung estudyante ko, bakit hindi niya natututunan 'to? Bakit
Correct,
hindi niya
correct, correct.
mag-get yung lesson? But
Iwas
if you
frustration din ano?
if you know na hindi lahat ng estudyante may libro sa bahay, no,
Mhm.
if alam mong hindi lahat ng estudyante may culture of learning sa bahay, then you would
Correct.
understand. And
Correct.
rather than feeling angry about it, you start thinking of a solution.
Mhm.
Yan. I'm not saying that I'm a saint of a teacher naman na hindi ako nagalit
Mhm.
nung teacher ako. But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is hopefully no, ma-develop mo yung mindset na instead of being angry at what the student cannot do,
Mhm.
jump na to the plan on how to resolve that. Kaya nga
Mhm.
sabi ko kanina, you get to have freedom sometimes sa academic din na, hindi pa nila kaya tong skill set na to.
Mhm.
Isingit ko
Mhm.
muna. Parang
Mhm.
ganun. And another, a realistic mindset. Ayan.
Mhm. Mhm.
When we say a realistic mindset, sometimes no, we have to check our goals, our objectives in learning.
Mhm. Mhm.
And kaya ba to? Parang ganun. Kaya ba
Mhm.
talaga to?
Mhm.
Sometimes niinis tayo na, ba't di nyo kayang gawin to? Kasi baka naman sobrang taas nung
Mhm. Mhm.
sobrang taas nung kinuha mong objectives.
Mhm.
Not just that, but also how you deliver the lessons. Like,
Mhm.
gusto kong mag-role play. Ayan. Gusto kong bongga yung props. Kaya ba? May gamit
Mhm.
ba?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
hindi
Mhm.
ikaw mag-provide, yung learners mo ba?
Mhm.
Kaya ba?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm not
Mhm.
saying that you have to stick with what you have.
Mhm.
Definitely no. You still need to have that drive for innovation, for resiliency, ika nga, and for being able to use things that are not there but can be applied. Parang ganun.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, still you have to be realistic. Ika nga.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
nothing bad with being innovative. There's nothing bad with with going beyond. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, with whatever we do in the learning process, let's make sure that it's realistic. Ayan.
Mhm. Mhm. So it's passion, patience, empathy. No, I think that's empathy and
Kasama din
realistic
yan.
mindset. Ayan.
Mhm.
Ayan. So, ayan. Are there any more, Sir Gavin?
Siguro ano na lang, advice ko na lang sa mga future
Mhm.
teachers or sa mga teachers ngayon and
Mhm.
sa mga corporate trainers.
Mhm.
Uh, the job that we have, no, is this is ano uh, nanggaling to kay Sir Jeff, one of my CLDP graduates. Shout out to
Mhm.
Sir Jeff.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
this job is a selfless job. Walang
Mhm.
magpapasalamat sa iyo all the time. Walang
Correct.
magko-congratulate sa iyo all of the time. If
Correct.
meron man, definitely taos na puso yon. But yeah, at
Mhm.
the end of the day, this job requires more than your time. It
Mhm.
requires your patience,
Mhm.
your skills, your
Mhm.
heart, number one,
Mhm.
and your passion talaga. So
Mhm.
if you are looking into teaching or if you are already in the world of teaching, no, know that what you are doing is not just for yourself, but for other people. And
Mhm.
service to humanity is sometimes or most of the time the best kind of work then. Ayan.
Mhm.
So, ayan, siguro palubag loob na lang yun. Alam ko mahirap ang teaching, but that
Mahirap,
is
mahirap. Mhm.
yun yung mantra ko na I'm not doing this just for myself. No. If I
Mhm.
do this job correct, mali na. If I do this job correctly, if I do this job uh, with the best that I can, hindi lang ako yung magbe-benefit. And sometimes that's enough for me to keep going on.
Mhm. All
Ayun yung
right.
take, medyo na-miss ko.
Mhm. Ayan, ayan, ayan. So, with that said, Sir Kevin, thank you so much. No, there you have it. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for watching our episode for today. Thank you, Sir Kevin, no, for sharing your time and expertise amidst your busy schedule, and of course for sharing the difference no between ano ba academic learning and corporate training. So, to our viewers, I hope you learned something today, and to our viewers also, if you are interested in the future to go back and revisit this episode, you may always do that by visiting our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Again, HR on the Go is a joint collaboration of Clark HR Council and International HR Institute, airing live on the CHRC Facebook page every month. So if you are interested in becoming a CHRC member, join us via www.clarkhrcouncil.org/join. Before we answer, Gavin, anything to promote or any
Well,
final words? Yeah.
sige. To promote, well, some news. Ayan. The CLDP is now, or the Certified Learning and Development Professional Certification Program, the program that I manage, is ongoing monthly. No,
Mhm, mhm,
just make sure to visit our website. That's www.cldp.ph for news or updates regarding our monthly schedule. Discount rates, definitely meron tayo for early joiners and also for graduates of the International HR Institute. Ayan. So calling all CCDP and CRSP graduates, meron po kayong mas malaking discount when you take the CLDP program. And we also offer a much bigger discount, di ba? Palaki ng palaki,
mhm,
for registrants of Group of 5. Ayan. So just let us know if you're a group of 5 na would like to join in a single batch. We can give you a much more bigger discount. And also, I am inviting everyone to please watch the Trainers Lounge, the show where we talk about anything and everything about L&D. Ayan. Similar po with HR on the go. But for Trainers Lunch, we talk about news, we talk about snippets and the daily lives of L&D professionals. We are also available on YouTube. You can watch our videos there. We are also in Facebook. Ayan, nagla-live po kami mga Wednesdays of a month. And then we are also available on Spotify if tinatamad kayo manood and would just like to listen and learn. Ayan. So yun lang naman.
All right. So again, be a CLDP. Now visit www.cldp.ph. Is that correct, Sir Kevin?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ayan. So,
Thank you.
ayan. So if you are interested in being a CLDP, please contact Sir Kevin or visit www.cldp.ph. So again, thank you so much, Sir Kevin. I hope our viewers learned so much today because I personally learned a lot from you today. So again, thank you, everyone, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.
The Philippines is being called Asia's rising tiger. But what exactly does this mean? Posting a GDP growth of 6.7% in 2017, the country has one of the fastest growing economies in the world, expanding at a rate unseen in the last 5 decades. The good news is, it's just getting started. The better news is that we have designed a brand new city to be the nucleus of this economic renaissance. Less than 1 hour from the capital, Manila, straddled by hills and blessed with tropical climate all year long. We are building the city of the future, a landmark development twice the size of Manhattan. Originally developed by the Americans for its secure and strategic location in Asia Pacific, Clark is being transformed into a disaster-resilient metropolis that will be competitive and attractive to a global market. It will consist of 4 main districts. The Clark Freeport Zone, an existing mixed-use complex established in the 90s. Clark Global City, which will serve as the primary business district. And New Clark City, which will house satellite government offices and a first-class sports village. Central to all of this is Clark International Airport, which will soon be expanded to accommodate up to 80 million passengers a year. This ensures that travel will be comfortable while trade is seamless. A city unmatched in connectivity, with access to world-class highways and the service of high-speed railways, connecting north to south and east to west, across surrounding seas and over oceans. Clark is a city built as living proof that business in this part of the world is not only easy, but simply better. With no red tape, lower taxes, and endless investment opportunities. This is a city prepared to attract talent so that the country's best and brightest will come here to work and choose to call this place home. Because this is a city that knows how to play, where you can unwind at your own speed, where safety is paramount, and people always come first. This is a city where history and culture thrive, where modern conveniences meet timeless traditions, and progress is driven by passion. This is a city with limitless ambition that may someday find itself among the great cities of the world, built for business so that time is always well spent, and built for people so that life is always well lived. This is Clark.